and second petitioners, Mr. Nyangasi Oduo, in his affidavit, he talks to the Form 34C, and I'd referred to this earlier, where the total number of vote cast is 14,213,000. Now, the same Mr. Edgar Otumba saw a supplementary affidavit on the, I think this affidavit was sworn on, just a minute, on the 20th of August, 2002. And I invite you, my ladies and your lordships, to look at this affidavit, because it analyzes several scenarios, including scenarios where the rejected votes are not computed, and scenarios where the declaration made by the chairman of the Electoral Commission as to the manual votes which were cast, which were recorded 86,889, and where those votes recorded as manual votes are computed together with the votes that were transmitted electronically. And then scenarios that would include the constituencies where the votes were declared later, including Ella's constituency. Now, the central point, and I want to make this point again, that the case that we are trying to make out is that if you look at the declaration made by the chairman as to the voter turnout, that will give you, as a percentage of the total number of registered voters, it will give you the number of voters that turned out to vote in the election, as opposed to another way of arriving at the same result, simply counting the number of voters that were recorded to have voted and cast their vote in the election. It is an equation that must agree in a mass submission. If the total number of voters that take part in the election do not agree with the votes that are counted as cast in accordance with Article 138(4), if they don't agree, then it means that the results of that election are not accurate, they're not transparent, and they're not accountable. And therefore, I'm inviting your ladyships and your lordship to go through this affidavit of Mr. Edgar Otumba, because he lays out clearly there's several scenarios in which it is quite clear the second respondent, one William Samoei Ruto, could not have garnered 50% plus one of the vote cast in the election. And since all that is in our submissions and is in the two affidavits that I refer to, I invite your ladyships and your lordships to go through, and you find that it is indeed very compelling, the analysis given out by Dr. Edgar Otumba. Now, your ladyship and my lords, I'd also invite you to look at the affidavit of one Celestine Anyango,